Hi everyone, welcome back to the Geek is Chic. Today I'm super excited to talk about my very first monthly favorites. I can't even tell you how many of these videos I watched during my whole YouTube watching history. And I usually really enjoy them. And now I'm finally able to do one myself. So today I will share my currently favorite items with you. But before we start, can we please take a minute and talk about how fast 2018 went by? It's crazy. Like a year ago, I was living in a different city and I just feel like I just came back to my hometown. Do you also feel like time was literally running by this year? Anyway, this is like old people's talk, but I am 33 after all. Let's keep that aside and talk about my actual favorite items. So today we will have some fashion pieces and some beauty items and some home accessories, as well as a movie and a TV show, because I just live for that. And as usual, all the items... Oh my god, my hair is flying all over the place. What is happening? Ugh. As usual, I will link all the items that are actually findable in the grand space of the internet in the description down below. So my first favorite would be my stand teddy coat. For those of you who have seen my recent fashion haul or who follow me on Instagram, if you don't, you know what to do. I bought this stand teddy coat a couple of months ago and I actually had the chance to wear it now that it was getting colder in November in Germany, and I enjoyed it so much. I really never owned a cozier and warmer coat ever. And also because it is a little bit of a current piece, sometimes I feel like it spices up my outfits and it makes my looks that are often more on the classic and timeless side a little bit more contemporary. So if you are in the market for a teddy coat, I highly recommend the teddy coats by Stand. I think with Stand you get very good quality for a reasonable price. The actual teddy material looks nice and matte and doesn't have that like plasticky shine to it. And I also just love the cuts. So if you want to see more of this coat, head over to my Instagram or check out my fashion haul, because there you will see more, you know, how it actually looks. It's really a great piece. My next current favorite is a home accessory, and it is this home scent by Dr. Vrani's Firenze. So this specific scent is from the Fragranza da Collezione line, if I spell this correctly, and it's called Rosso Nobile. So trying to explain the actual scent, I would describe it as a very rich, wintry, berry-infused scent, if that makes any sense. It is not wooden or musky, but it's also not super fruity. So the scent actually stands right next to my working desk, and every day that I sit down to start working, I just breathe in this beautiful scent and I really enjoy it, and it just makes my day-to-day work and my everyday life a little bit more pleasant. Yeah, I never had a home scent before, to be honest. I used to have these very cheap IKEA vanilla candles back in the days when I was a teenager. So this was the first time that I, you know, bought something more nice and decorative as a home scent. And yeah, I have to admit, I'm kind of growing into it and I really appreciate it. The next item I'm actually currently wearing, and I have to take them off because these are my next favorites. So these are traditional Polish home shoes made of leather and shearling. And they are actually handmade. I just bought them a couple of days ago actually on the market in Poland where I was. But whenever I was in Poland as a child, I basically grew up in these. Whenever I would visit my family in Poland, I would get one of these for my stay there and I would walk around in them, especially in the colder months at home. So yeah, they just remind me of my childhood and they have a special place in my heart, and I always wanted to have a pair for my home, for my actual home here in Germany. So this time I finally managed to pick up a pair for myself. As I said, these are handmade. This is a very like traditional hand stitching. Like their origin is the south of Poland, but you know, the whole country walks around with these and they are very popular there. As it gets a little bit colder in Poland than in other areas of Europe, for example in Germany, these are completely lined with shearling, if you can tell. And that just makes them extremely fluffy, extremely warm, and since it's all natural and leather, it still keeps your feet breathing. And I'm putting them back on now. So the next favorite on my list would be these earrings. So these earrings are just little twisted hoops. So I bought these earrings in Munich when I used to live there, and they are from a very small brand in Sweden, and it's called Isagaya. The designer specializes on very nice, modern and contemporary petite jewelry. These are gold plated, they are not like solid gold, which of course makes them a little bit more affordable. I actually have these for quite some time, but I had to include them in this video because it's my first one and I just wear these all the time. So shall we jump into movies and TV shows? So my favorite movie that I had the pleasure to watch would be Geralds Game. So this film is actually from 2017, but I only discovered it recently and I was absolutely blown away. It is the movie adaptation of a book by Stephen King, and it is stated as a horror/thriller, even though I think that it is much more than just that. So even if you are a very sensitive person, just as me, I would still encourage you to watch it because it's not actually the focus of the movie whatsoever. Carla Gugino, who I love as an actress anyway, stars brilliantly as the protagonist in this movie. She plays a middle-aged woman who goes on a romantic, sexy weekend trip with her husband to, you know, spice up their marriage. And unfortunately, while trying to get a little, you know, kinky in the bedroom, her husband suddenly dies of a heart stroke while she is actually handcuffed to the bed. And the keys are nowhere reachable. And so the story starts as a, you know, survival and mental terror flick, but it becomes much deeper and much more than that very quickly. And in addition to that, I was personally just stoked by the film's artistic visual style, which I think recreated the storytelling style and the writing style of Stephen King's books very well. And yes, it gets a little creepy and dark in some scenes, but the movie's intention is never to, you know, create cheap jump scares or anything like that. It's more part of the whole story and getting to know the protagonist, and this way it all really comes together beautifully. So without spoiling too much, just go ahead and watch it. It's a super inspiring movie. And my favorite TV show of the month November would be The Haunting of Hill House. Yes, I also watched American Horror Story Apocalypse and I actually enjoyed it very much, but first of all, I think everyone and their mother already talked about the series more than enough here on YouTube, so I don't have to join. And I also found the ending of it very disappointing and just very weak. So that's basically all I have to say about that anyway. So let's talk about The Haunting of Hill House. Oh my god, this series is so creepy and so scary, I have to admit that. But it is just as stunning visually. And again, the actual focus of the story doesn't surround gore or scare or whatever. It actually surrounds a family drama, which, as it turns out, is a very interesting mixture. And having said that, I would not consider The Haunting of Hill House as just a horror movie once again, but more as a family drama with a supernatural element to it. So everyone who likes the whole haunting house horror genre and appreciates a beautiful old mansion that is just as majestic as it is creepy will get more than enough in this TV show. So the story is about a family that happens to move into a haunted house and living there for a certain amount of time, and following up with them through their lives, showing how each of them copes or not copes with the trauma that they experience there. So I found this show extremely fascinating. It had me from the first minute. The story, the characters, the whole setting is just absolutely amazing, which of course makes the whole experience even more intense. And even if you are, again, a very sensitive person that doesn't like horror movies but is very much into, you know, macabre or dark stories, I totally encourage you to sit through those goosebumps and to sit through those creepy moments, because they are just part of something bigger and it all comes together in the end, and then it's just a bliss. So I think that would sum up my current favorites for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your current favorites are. Maybe some of them are related to the items or topics that I talked about. Also, do not forget to subscribe and like and hit that bell down there. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!